Hi, my name is Melanie and I'd like to welcome you to Polar Bear Odyssey today for Como Live. Thanks to the Legacy Amendment that we are able to do this. Today, I'm going to talk with you about polar bears. Now, a lot of you might know that it was International Polar Bear Day yesterday, and that's a day to celebrate polar bears, specifically moms in their dens. Because right now, all over the Arctic, there are polar bears and their moms hanging out in their dens. Those polar bears were born about a month ago at only a pound. Now, they're much bigger and they're almost ready to come out. They've increased their body size by about 20 times the weight. Now, we don't have any moms and cubs here at Como, unfortunately, but we do have a few bears that I can introduce you to. Hopefully pretty soon here, we're gonna start with Neil. Neil is our oldest bear and actually the second oldest male polar bear in the country. So he's a pretty old guy. Sometimes it takes him a little while to get up the stairs. We'll see if he can do it. He is 26 years old and he has been here for a very long time. Neil is our resident that's been here for quite a while. The other polar bears that we have are Kulu, a 2-year-old male who just came to us from Columbus, and then Nan, a 27-year-old female who came to us from Chicago. So we have lots going on right now. We'll give Neil a couple more minutes to make his way up those stairs. Now you can imagine as you get older, your joints get a little achy. Well, Neil's joints get a little achy too. Might take him a minute to get up the stairs, but he is doing pretty good. And that's one of the reasons that we continue to train here at Como every day, is to make sure that the bears stay limber. We want to assess their health every day. We can see him coming on in here. He is going to train with Becky today. Now, most of the behaviors that we train with our bears are, like I said, for their health. Neil is trained to do a lot of things, like voluntary blood draw. And at his age, because he is on some pain medications, doing that voluntary blood draw is very important to make sure that everything is functioning well in his body. So you can see he's got a shaved paw there. What he'll do is he'll put his paw into that sleeve in the training vestibule, and we're able to take a voluntary blood sample and assess how he's doing. Other things that we might train would be voluntary injections. We do give vaccinations just like you would give to your dog at home. He is trained to do that. We also have a scale, a giant polar bear sized scale here in the knuckle, so we can monitor his weight. Neil right now weighs about 900 pounds, so he is a big boy. There we go. I think he's finally working his way over here. Now, what we use to train is Neil's very favorite treat, and that is lard. I know it sounds a little weird, but in the wild, polar bears mainly eat seals. And the thing that they really love about seals is their blubber. Seals are kind of a big ball of fat, and that is what allows polar bears to get so big. They need those calories that are found in that fat. He gets a little distracted sometimes. So we don't have a supplier of seal fat here, unfortunately. So the nearest we can get is lard, and it's just the lard that you would buy at the grocery store. We'll also train our polar bears to do things like open their mouth so we can look at their teeth. They're trained to present their eyes so we can put eye meds in their eyes. Anything that we can do to help them stay healthy is something that we might train. Now, another thing that we do here is provide the bears with enrichment. You might see things in their exhibit that are not exactly natural, especially young Kulu. He loves to play with things like balls, any large plastic, Rubbermaid toys, all sorts of things. He'll take them into the pool, he'll dunk them down to the bottom, and they'll float back to the top, or he'll throw them around, he'll carry them around the exhibit. We've even found Kulu sleeping with some of his toys in his bed at night, so he really enjoys all that enrichment. Neil's a little bit older. He prefers to spend most of his time sleeping now, as opposed to playing with all those toys like Kulu does. Other things that we might provide for enrichment would be things like different scents. Polar bears in the wild rely on their noses to find seals while they're hunting. So their sense of smell is actually very, very good. So we might sprinkle a little cinnamon around the exhibit, or we have things like deer urine and fox urine that we can spread around to keep things interesting for the bears. Now, like I said, it was International Polar Bear Day, and polar bears are having a little trouble in the wild. I talked about how they eat seals. Well, the way that they hunt for those seals is they find a seal breathing hole out on the ice, and they wait, and they wait. And polar bears are very, very patient. They'll wait for a seal to come along, and that's how they get their food. The problem comes in with climate change. There is less ice, which makes the polar bears a little bit more challenged in trying to find their food. The main problem that this is having is with those females in their dens right now. They need that food to be able to nurse their babies. It looks like Neil has finished his training session. He did a very good job with all of that. So I'm so glad that he came out and everybody got to see him. Thank you all for joining us here to see Neil in training, learn a little bit about some polar bears. Hopefully you guys can come out to the zoo and you can see them for yourself. Maybe get to meet Nan and Kulu along the way. Thanks all for coming and have a great day. Bye.